All right, good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started here. Thank you, everyone, for being here this morning. This is the special events team meeting for Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. We appreciate everyone taking some time this morning to meet about events coming up. This is not a meeting that we will make any decisions on approving or denying events. We will, however, as a group, just go over the details, tie up any loose ends, and make sure we're on the same page to help the organizers have a safe and successful event. My name is Kelly Frank. I'm the coordinator with the Boise City Clerk's Office. I'm sitting in for Maria Weig. She is the special events chair and the director of communication, but out today. So just a reminder, please use your microphones. We have a lot of people attending online today, and that's the only way that they can hear us. This meeting is also live streamed, so please mind your P's and Q's. It will be live recorded as well for future references. And we'll do intros here in just a second around the room and then online. Team, I'd just like to elaborate on your status with the presenter when we do the Q&A. If you could just let us know when you're good, if that means that you have everything that you need, you're just processing the information, working through the details. If you are missing anything, please just specify here so the organizer knows, and then work with them offline on the details. That just helps us all. And then we'll talk about a couple of upcoming events and the sign-offs and a few changes with organizers. So we'll go ahead and get started with introductions here in the room.
Tanya Motisi, Ada County Highway District.
Conrad McDaniel, Republic Services.
Vince Vergara, City of Boise Parking.
Julianne Hagler, City Risk Management.
Summer Altieri, Boise Parks and Rec.
Dino Sugar, City Clerk Office.
Jesse Tappert, Boise Fire Prevention.
Taylor Gomez, Boise Police.
Cameron Colos, Boise Police Department.
Matthew Konvalenko, Boise Police.
Rachel Holford, City of Boise Emergency Preparedness.
Thank you. Online with Boise Fire, BC Detman. Go give him a minute. Go on to Ada County Paramedics.
Camille Rogers, Ada County Paramedics.
Boise City Community Engagement.
Sarah Garajana, Community Engagement.
State of Idaho Capital Property.
Steve Walker with the State of Idaho.
All right. And Jonas, were you able to get your mic on?
Absolutely. Joe Death from Boise Fire Department Operations. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Well, good morning, Downtown Boise Association, Jen and Abby. We're excited to have you and excited to have our fun summer events back. So we'll go ahead and have you get started with the Alive After 5. Yes, please use your mics, make sure they're on, and then there is a clicker up there for your slideshow, and then Dina's assisting as well. So
wonderful. Thank you so much. I am Abby Berg, Community Engagement Manager for Downtown Boise Association. Great to see everybody again. And going to start us off presenting on the 37th Annual Alive After 5 Summer Concert Series. So for those of you who may not be familiar with Alive After 5, it's a long-standing free community concert series that celebrates downtown Boise, and we attract around 5,000 attendees per event. Something that makes these events a little bit unique is we do sell beer, wine, and non-alcoholic beverages during the events, and all of the tips collected on those beverage sales are donated to our Tips for Charity partners. This year, we are partnering with City of Good and the Burnout Fund. We have returned to our more condensed schedule this year, so these concerts will be on 7 consecutive Wednesdays in June and July from 5 to 8 p.m. in the Grove Plaza, starting with Juneteenth and June 26th, and then July 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st to make up our 7 concert dates. Our team will begin setting up on each concert date around 10 a.m. That is when our partners load in the portable stage and when our 6 portable toilets arrive on site. DBA at that time also begins setting up bars, tables, and other equipment in the Grove Plaza. And then we have our sound team loading in the early afternoon with amplified sound beginning around 2:30 with our sound checks. We've partnered with Duck Club again this year. The lineup is really exciting. We're going to be releasing that tomorrow afternoon, so everybody keep your eyes peeled. But they have lined up 2 bands per week for us, 1 opener and 1 headliner, and that's a good mix of local and nationally recognized groups. We'll be playing amplified background music between those sets just to keep the energy up. And then in addition for entertainment, we'll have our 2 typical bars, our main bar on the west and our satellite bar on the east, serving alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverage options. We've tried to expand our non-alcoholic options a little bit this year just to give some more variety there. And then of course, for the kids, we'll have our Downtown Place pop-up as well. Taking a look at the footprint here, I'd like to start by looking sort of up on 9th Street by the West Spoke. We have that same section of reserved parking that we had last year for our bands and our sound team to park their vehicles. We have our 2 bars, as I'd said, notated by those red rectangles there, our main bar and our satellite bar as well, with some vendor booths sort of surrounding the footprint. So all those vendor booths are the yellow squares notated there. We'll have a booth for each of our series sponsors, and then as well as our weekly sponsors and our Tips for Charity presenting organization that week will have a booth as well. You'll see on the northern end of the plaza, our information booth is up there by the old Lucky Finn's patio. And another booth I would like to bring attention to is booth number 11, just next to the satellite bar on the east side. That's going to be the Hayden tasting booth, similar as last year. Hayden Beverage is going to be parking their truck behind the main bar. That's that green rectangle there, sort of by the old visitor center. And then also in that West Spoke, we have our 6 portable toilets that we're having loaded in that day, and we'll be utilizing the 2 ADA accessible restrooms as well. They're those permanent restrooms on the plaza. And then you'll also see a new addition to the map is the blue square in the old visitor center. We're going to be utilizing that space as our first aid area. We're partnering with Injury Care this year, so they are going to be providing an ALS unit at each one of those concerts. And Dr. Radnovich with Injury Care is going to be working out of that visitor center there. We also have our typical wristband stations on the North Spoke and the South Spoke. Volunteers will be manning those and checking IDs as people enter, making sure everybody who plans on drinking gets a wristband. In the case that somebody misses the wristband station, everybody working the bar is prepared and trained to check IDs and wristband at the bars as well. We'll also have MAV Security partnering with us again this year. They'll have security guards at the 2 wristband stations as well as the rest of the entrances, and 2 security guards roaming the event, and then 1 supervisor as well. So they're spread out a little bit there. You'll also see, it's kind of hard to see on the map here, but at each of the spoke entrances, we have our new barricades set up, notated by those green lines. And then we have 16 trash and recycling bins throughout. We're really encouraging people to recycle more and more at these events, so we've bumped that number up a little bit. And of course, we have our Downtown Place set up, notated by the big purple rectangle. For safety, Sierra has filled out the special event permit with the fire department, so I think we're all covered there. We'll also have our A-frames notating that it's a pedestrian-only zone, sitting at each of the entrances to the plaza. We're going to have all of the entrances, the spokes, be accessible, but we're planning, if police, fire, and EMS need access, to have that West Spoke serve as the access point there, because the bollards are really easy to move there. For medical, as I'd mentioned, we're partnering with Injury Care this year, so they'll be providing ALS for each of those 7 concerts. In addition to that, at our information booth, at that little tent, we'll have our typical first aid kit, stop the bleed kits, and water bottles in case people are feeling a little bit dehydrated. Staff is all trained in CPR and first aid and will be utilizing the What 3 Words and Pulse Point apps in the case of an emergency. We do have a donation pending for an AED, so hopefully in the future, we're looking forward to DBA owning our own AED, but in the meantime, we do have that full ALS unit on site. For security, as I'd mentioned, we're working with MAV again, so they'll have those security guards posted throughout the event. In addition to that, when we move cash at the end of the night, we're going to be accompanied by 1 escort guard. To make sure that no alcohol leaves the area, in addition to those security guards, we'll be placing no alcohol beyond this point signs at each of the entrances to the footprint. And then we have, as I'd mentioned, our 2 wristband stations to also help them make sure no alcohol can leave the footprint there. For trash and recycling, we, as I'd mentioned, upped our count a little bit. So we're placing 16 of our DBA cans throughout the event. Our team will monitor those to make sure nothing's overflowing and to make sure that those stay empty enough throughout the event. But we, similarly to last year, are going to be working with Oppenheimer Group. They've allowed us to use their trash and recycling dumpster in the Wells Fargo parking area. And then in addition to that, I believe Sierra requested or reserved use of a 3-yard recycling dumpster in addition. All of our beverages that we're serving are in aluminum cans, so all of those are recyclable. And we will be securing some of those orange bags to make sure we can recycle the ice bags that we use. We use a lot of ice at these events. And then, of course, as always, we'll distribute that low waste vendor guide to all of our vendors who are going to be at the concerts. And I think that is it for Alive After 5.
Wonderful. Definitely one of Boise's favorite events. So well done on the presentation. We'll go ahead and go around the room in order of department and agencies. So we'll skip back and forth between in-person and online, starting with Tanya.
Sierra submitted everything to me, informational only. It's out of the public right of way, so I wish you some successful Wednesdays.
Thanks, Tanya.
Yeah, I'm good. Everything you said checks out. I've signed off. Ed's not on the call?
Correct.
Okay. So, did you have any questions for Ed or myself about the orange bag or, you have your own bins and everything, so,
I think we're good to go.
okay. Well, anytime during the season, please reach out if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thank
Conrad.
you.
Parking set to go. We have everything secured on the parking. We'll bag and sign everything up the evening before on that section of night that we talked about. And so we're good to go. Thank you.
Valley Regional Transit is good to go since it doesn't impact our operations. Thanks. Have a good season.
Hey, just double checking, who is going to be providing your alcohol? Are you having a bar come in or selling
that-
yourself?
That's all provided by Hayden Beverage Company.
Okay. We're looking at your COI and I have a question for you, so I'll email you about it later.
Awesome. Thank you.
Nothing from Parks, thanks.
Should I ask how your neighborhood notifications are going?
Great question. 2 weeks before, we're going to lump together Alive After 5 and Father's Day Car Show since they're both starting the same weeks. But 2 weeks before, we're going to be canvassing both of those footprints and making sure we get signatures from all
Okay.
those people.
If you can just send a copy of the notification into special events, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
We'll go online to Sierra with community engagement.
Hey, Abby and Jen, I don't have anything. Love this event. Great work on the presentation and best of luck.
And Cameo with Ada County Paramedics.
Good morning. Nothing here. Thank you for securing that medical and looking forward to a great event.
And we'll keep online with VC Detman.
No, that was a great presentation. I appreciate you getting the medical down there and holding to that matrix that we provide. Have a great season, and I appreciate you including our burnout fund in that. It's a great organization. We do good work. So thanks for that.
Thank you. Just a couple of reminders. Great presentation. I see that you did get your Boise Fire Special Events permit already in, so thank you. Just remember near the wine tasting number 11 there is a fire department connection for the Boise Center East. So whatever, you're going to have some barriers over there, it looks like. So whatever's there, just make sure it's easily movable. And then the other reminder is there's a fire hydrant by your main bar. So if you could keep that clear and visible. And I don't think your bar is as big as it's as indicated on this map. So I don't think there's going to be access issues, but there's a couple trees and permanent poles. We need about a space about 15 feet so we can get apparatus. Just make sure it's not blocking that access there. But other than that, it looks great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm all set. We've been working offline and I've got your first batch of permits ready to go. So if anything comes up, I'll let you know, but I think we're good for now. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm all good. We'll have officers notified of the events going on and they'll make walkthroughs of the area. Thank you.
Good morning. Wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for stepping up some of those areas that we've been talking about. That's huge. Definitely we'll meet with you guys after the season to see how that went for you. And in regards to the AED, we can start trying to help search for something like that for you guys as well. So I think injury care will be phenomenal for you. You'll love having them down there. So we'll put together the packet. We'll share it with all the responders that may need to come down there. Outside of that, we're good to go. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right, Steve Walker online with the state of Idaho.
This state has nothing.
Thank you. And the health department did email me this morning. They were not able to attend, but they said that they did reach out actually to you, Jen, but they didn't need anything since you guys weren't having any food vendors. One quick question that I did have that I didn't see specified on the map. We met a few weeks ago about increasing the, let's say decreasing the entry points at each spoke. Is that something that you guys will be doing with the fencing and stuff, with the alcohol containment? Okay. That's all I have for this one. So we'll move on to the Father's Day Car Show.
Awesome. Let's do it. Thank you. All right, also coming up pretty soon this summer, we have the 21st annual Father's Day Car Show happening on Sunday, June 16th. The Father's Day Car Show is a great way for us to celebrate the past and future of vehicle technology in our community. We've added an additional category for awards this season, that is Best Self-Restored Vehicle or Self-Built Vehicle. And we've also added a couple fun activities into the footprint as well. So we'll have DT plays and maybe a sidewalk chalk area pending. We have over 200 cars registered so far. So that's more vehicles than last year. We're really excited about that. Hoping to have around 240 by the time of the event. And then we're also expecting to have around 5,000 guests filtering through to look at those cars and enjoy the event. So this event is taking place Sunday, June 16th on Father's Day on the State Capitol steps and surrounding streets. We'll take a look at the footprint here in a moment. Our team is going to start setting up the night before by putting out those no parking signs within the footprint just to keep that clear. And then AWS Security is doing our road closures this year. So they will be putting up road closures the evening before. On the morning of the 16th, we've pushed our setup back a little bit. So our team and our vendors are going to start loading into the footprint and setting up around 7 a.m. with the first of the show vehicles arriving at 8 a.m. Show vehicles should all be filtered in by around 9:45 a.m. And then after our fire inspection, the event officially starts at 10 a.m. with no vehicles moving within the footprint after event start. We are announcing our awards around 2:30 with the event ending at 3 p.m. and aiming for roads being fully reopened to the public by around 4. For entertainment this year, in addition to all the cars that will be there for people to look at, we are also working with Radio Boise again. They'll be emceeing from the Capitol steps. They're going to start amplified sound around 8 a.m. and that will continue throughout the day. The event is going to finish with the award ceremony at 2:30, as I said, and we are doing Dad Joke of the Year awards this year, and that's going to be presented by our friends at VRT. So taking a look at the footprint here, we've expanded a little bit since we've been able to get more vehicles involved this year. So our footprint now includes that little section of Bannock between 8th and 9th. So we have all of our vehicles lined up. This year, we are putting late and overflow vehicles in that lot up on State and 9th, just because it's easy to access. So that's where we'll be loading in the last vehicles of the day. And other than that, the vehicle arrangement part of the footprint is pretty consistent with years past. Taking a look at the Capitol building steps, that's where we'll have our information booth as well as our registration booth, where all of the vehicle owners will come and let us know that they've arrived and get registered. And that's also where our MCs from Radio Boise will set up. Across the street from the Capitol steps, you'll see our presenting sponsor booth. That's going to be Bronco Motors with some partner vehicles there with additional vendor booths on Jefferson and 8th, notated by those orange squares. We will have Proud Source is providing water for us. So there's no food sales or drink sales other than that, but they'll be selling aluminum canned water from one of those booths. Downtown Plays is going to be set up where that orange rectangle is this year. And then you can see sort of toward the middle of the map, we are utilizing the Bora Building dumpster and recycling. Again, this year we've secured permission from them. We will be stationing our recycling and garbage cans throughout the footprint, notated by those little circles. And we'll have some team members from DBA be walking the event every hour just to make sure that those cans are staying empty and that trash is taken out to those dumpsters. And then another new addition to the map on the 8th and Bannock intersection, you'll see that blue square that's notating where injury care will be set up again this year. And Dr. Radnovich for this event is actually going to be bringing his vintage 1940s ambulance. So we're really excited to have that included in the show as well. And that will be set up by the first aid station down there. Oh, and then one last thing, those dark blue circles by the information booth and Downtown Plays also show our fire extinguisher locations. For safety, we've applied for a special event permit for this event as well, and we'll have those same pedestrian zone only signs at each of the entrances. We are aiming to leave a 12-foot minimum clearance in each road for police, fire, and EMS access if necessary. For security, we are having our staff and our volunteers monitoring the event. This one tends to be pretty low key, not a huge security risk. And then injury care, as I had said, is on that 8th and Bannock intersection. They'll be providing a BLS unit for this event. In addition to that, our staff is fully trained in CPR and first aid. We'll have our little first aid kit and our typical first aid setup at the info tent as well on the Capitol steps. We'll be using What 3 Words and Pulse Point for this event as well. And we are able to use the Capitol building's AED machine if necessary. For trash and recycling, as I'd mentioned, we're not expecting a whole lot just because there's no food sold on site. We're encouraging people to go to the surrounding businesses to get their lunch if they want any food. But we will have all those trash cans set out that I notated on the map, and we will have those team members monitoring to make sure none of that trash is overflowing. And we will, of course, distribute the low waste vendor guide. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. I think we're all looking forward to seeing that antique ambulance.
Should be fun.
Yeah, great. We'll go ahead and start with ACHD.
I have everything I need at this point. I'm still pending your traffic review. Thank you for taking some of our recommendations and revising that plan. Appreciated. I'll have that done probably by the end of the week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi. Yeah, I'm good on this one as well. All signed off. You're using DBA cans, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yep, and I have the letter from the state, so nothing else. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
We're set to go in parking. I'm thinking that we're gonna probably put up the signs on Friday because of the road closures and stuff that's going on. And so we will put them up around 4 o'clock Friday and we will go from there, but we're good to go. Thank you.
Thanks.
I think Valley Regional Transit is good to go. I like that the event happens on a Sunday. And I guess maybe we need to talk to you about getting an electric bus down there.
Yes, there
We'll
is a
follow
spot
up.
for it, but let's touch base.
Okay, thanks.
So I see that you are doing some setup on the 15th. So we'll need to get your COI adjusted to start on the 15th, please, and then go to the 17th. Thank you.
So Sierra took care of all of your guys' stuff for parks before she left. So you guys are good to go.
All right, just one moment here. We'll go online to community engagement with Sierra.
I don't have anything. Thank you all. I was just checking out your website for the map. It's got toilets where the cars are gonna be. Appreciate all the info online for folks kind of plan their adventure ahead of time. So I don't have anything and sounds great. Love the dad joke ad.
Thank you, Sierra. Cameo?
Also, nothing. Thank you again for setting up that medical, and that'll be exciting to have their ambulance down there.
BZ Detman?
Nope, sounds great. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I do have just a minor concern here, and we can talk about this more offline. So the goal for fire access is actually 20 feet, and I know this event, your layout is beautiful, what you submitted, the footprint. But as you know, when you get down there, it's a lot narrower than it looks on this footprint. And so we're okay with what you've done in front of the Capitol because you're leaving a nice wide open area directly in front. You're not blocking the Capitol driveways. So we could set up vehicles if we had to right there. But I'm a little concerned about Bannock, the Bannock Street addition. 8th Street is already blocked off. We have a lot of congestion there. And so we kind of rely on Bannock for access to that area. There's a lot of restaurants there with high occupant loads, a lot of unsprinklered buildings. So there's an area of Bannock that's about 40 feet wide next to, just on the corner of 8th and Bannock. And I'd like to get 20 feet of fire access all the way through Bannock. And I don't know how you're going to accomplish that by angling the vehicles. Now, it does widen the further west you get, where you have more of about 50 feet, I think. But that initial part right across from the Hoff building is pretty narrow. And so the 20-foot distance is so our truck companies, we can drive through a 12-foot area, right? But our truck companies have these outriggers that go out when we need to set those up. And so that's the purpose of the 20 feet. And I'd feel more comfortable if Bannock was as wide as possible through that little narrow area. So if we could get together offline and work through that, that would be wonderful. But other than that, it looks good.
Awesome. Sounds like a plan.
Okay, thank you.
No, same thing as before. We don't have anything. We will make sure the officers are aware of it, so they'll make some drive-throughs. Thank you.
Steve with the state of Idaho.
Awesome. Thank you for the presentation. A reminder, emails going out about sprinklers being shut off for you guys the week of the 10th. Car park for the parking lots you guys are going to use. And then I believe you guys normally call our dispatch center to get the AED brought out to you. I can't recall. Do you have that number?
I'm sure we do have it filed away somewhere, but if not, I might touch base with you offline to get that.
Sounds fine. The only other concern I have is you mentioned something about a chalk art, sidewalk chalk chart thing. Just try not to do that on Capitol grounds. It's against our rules, and we try and enforce it all the way around. So otherwise, it's cool. It's awesome. Great event. And I've already approved it.
Thank you, Steve. Is the chalk part of the downtown plays cart?
We were thinking about either putting it near downtown plays or maybe on some of those sidewalks on Bannock Street.
Okay,
That's what we're
make
considering.
sure you work with Ms. Tanya for any issues with potential graffiti or what kind of chalk and paint and stuff. So we'll definitely need to get that approved.
Awesome. Sounds like a plan.
Thank you. And Rachel, go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning. Two things. One, we'll want to wait until we get the ACHD traffic control plan. Do have concerns about State Street construction right now and how that's going to play into it. So we do want to see that because that's going to be important for our emergency services in that area. And then the other thing I just want to remind you guys, going through your paperwork, you guys filled out the Ada County medical plan. That's not what you guys need to fill out for us. You need to actually send us the contract with Injury Care that actually lists the dates, the times, and the service that you'll have on site. So if you could send those over, that would be great. That just allows us to confirm exactly who it is that you will have on site. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's all we have for today. We just look forward to your pending items coming in. If there's anything that we can do at the clerk's office to help, please feel free to send stuff to special events and that gets distributed to the team, as you know, and we look forward to the events this summer.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
All right. So real quick, update with YMCA staff. Griffin Getman is the new contact, and I will send that information out to make sure you have it. He does have a couple of upcoming events, one of them on June 1st. We still have a little bit of time to tie up any loose ends there, but we also have the holiday weekend in the middle. So if there are any issues that the city clerk's office can help with, missing information, please let me know. We want to support Griffin the best that we can to get that going. Just offhand, is there anyone that does have an issue with that event that's waiting on something, lack of communication or anything like that?
I haven't seen the medical plan unless, and I don't think Rachel or Jonas have either. So if we could
Okay.
just get that.
I believe that was the only item we were waiting on after meeting with them, was to actually get that physical contract. for
Okay.
Medical.
That sounds great. And I'm going to be meeting with him tomorrow at 10, just to go over anything that, let him know what I do have on hand. I'll let him know that the medical plan is missing. If anybody else does need anything, please let me know. Or if you want to hop on the call too, I'm happy to include you. Okay. Let's see, Savor Idaho is coming up on Sunday, June 9th. So just a reminder to sign off on that if you haven't already. Unfortunately, one of the presenters from last week, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago, an event for June 23rd is canceled. That's the Hope Fest. That notification did go out, but just wanted to remind you of that. And a couple of other events that'll be happening the week that we do get back together on June 12th. We have an event that did not have to come in front of the team, but it's the CBH Homes Locale Market on Friday the 14th. And then Saturday the 15th is the Warehouse Bodo Block Party. So just a couple to keep on your radar. Once again, if there's anything that we can do to help move that along, information, updates, anything, please let us know. Don't have anything else? All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We're adjourned.